Welcome to our new video. In this video, we're gonna see the 10 top technologies that change humans' life. 10. Internet. He could not miss. The instrument that has completely revolutionized the era in which we live. It conquers the 10th position. It is the infrastructure that has allowed the birth of the web, social networks, instant messaging platforms, e-commerce and everything that, for better or for worse, distinguishes our digital society. The first incarnation of the internet, put into operation on the night of October 29, 1969, in room 3420 of the University of California, UCLA. 9. Sewerage. It is not automatic to think that sewers is a technology. Yet nothing has improved public health like this invention. The first historical evidence dates back to 5,000 years ago. But the sewerage made a great leap forward, first with the maximum sewer of Roman times, and finally in modern times. Being introduced first in Paris, 17th century. 8. The transistor. You never think about it, but the tiny transistors, which today are composed of literally a few atoms of matter, have changed the world. Without these semiconductors, there would be neither computers or smartphones, just as there would be no radio of the collective imagination, and much more. The first transistor was designed in Canada in 1925 by physicist and engineer Julius Edgar Lilienfeld. 7. Steel. The first examples of steel, ferrous alloy composed of iron and carbon, date back to India in 300 BC, but its use became crucial especially during the Industrial Revolution, making it one of the absolute protagonists of the rapid modernization of what are now considered the most advanced nations in the world. 6. The plow. Nothing particularly complex, it is a tool whose sole purpose is to move the soil to facilitate sowing. Put this way, it seems like a small thing. Too bad that without the plow, perhaps invented in Mesopotamia around 6000 BC, we would still be splitting the earth using the hoe, instead of exploiting this technology, leaving it to be first the oxen and then the tractors to pull it. 5. The telegraph. More important than the telephone and the internet. It was the first tool ever to kickstart the process that made the world smaller, where we can all always be connected. When Samuel Morse, in 1844, sent the first message from Washington to Baltimore, he succeeded in the extraordinary feat of making the world immediately smaller, allowing instant, or almost, communication at a distance. Before the telegraph, sending a message from the United States to Europe would take 10 days, the time it would take for the ships carrying the letters to cross the Atlantic. After the laying of the first transatlantic submarine cables, in 1858, the same could happen in a few minutes. 4. Electricity. It is certain that without electricity there would be no electric current. We would not have a washing machine or dishwasher, we would not have computers and internet, we would not have cinema, television, or radio. Surely all the really important inventions that followed electricity, without it could not exist. Obviously, electricity also exists in nature, but it was man's ability to control and exploit it at his will that changed the world. Turin and Milan were the first European cities to use public lighting. In 1884, 2 years after New York. While even today, in the world, about 1.3 billion people do not have access to it. 3. The wheel. Have you ever heard of it? It is quite useful in any human activity you can think of. Starting from the fact that it allowed us to transport very heavy objects with incredibly little effort. The invention of the wheel, preceded by that of the sleigh, which performs a similar function, could also date back to Mesopotamia, during the time of the Sumerians, about 7,000 years ago. 2. The fire. The first Homo erectus who, rubbing 2 dry sticks, unintentionally, caused a spark, between 500,000 and 1.5 million years ago, certainly had no idea of the consequences that his discovery would cause. Discovery that, of course, is not fire, but more correctly the control of fire. To give an example, controlling the fire allowed us to cook the meat, favoring the absorption of proteins and therefore human proliferation, to see at night, and to keep away nocturnal predators. A real evolution. 1. Abomb. The choice to put this technology in absolute first place could raise some concerns. But you only have to think, for a moment, to understand that there was no other choice. The invention of the atomic bomb gave us the possibility to destroy the whole of humanity in a few minutes. From here, there is no turning back. Used only twice in history, from the United States to Nagasaki and Hiroshima, causing 100,000 instant deaths. That are only a fraction of the total casualties. Nuclear weapons are by far the most destructive and dangerous technology that man has ever invented. The first place is right.